name is Ben, and I want to thank you all for having me here today. I'll be talking about characteristics of leadership, or a leader, I should say, and the leadership styles that are tied in with each characteristic. Alright. Tristan, on here we have 32 pencils, right? Alright. Do you see one that's different?
The yellow one.
Kind of obvious. Alright. Can you tell me what's different about that? Yes, it's yellow. What else?
Taller.
Pretty much it, right? It's just taller and yellow. Because it's taller and yellow, does it make it any less of a pencil?
Not at all.
It's the same thing, right? Same kind of goes for a leader. Alright? What I'm getting at is anyone here can be a leader as well. Alright? Now there are certain things that kind of make you stand out. You are taller, you are yellow, but you're still a pencil nonetheless. Alright? Leaders grow and become a leader. You're not just born that. Okay? You start out the base the same as the rest. Okay?
I just had to count the pencils.
I was just about to do that.
I've already done it.
Do you have the? Got it right here.
Okay.
Alright. Now my first characteristic of a leader, very simple, basic one, is a leader should be ethical and civic minded. Now that's a little complex, but if you try to break it down, it becomes a little bit more simple. Kaylee, can you tell me what you think an ethical minded leader has? Honest. It's up there, yeah. Go a little bit more in depth.
Maybe no one was right.
Good. In terms of an ethical minded leader, the easy thing to keep in mind is honesty is always the best policy. Alright? Whether it be honest with your employees, coworkers, your customers, you want to be as honest as possible. Alright? Cody, say I have a customer and I've been honest with him constantly. Told him, hey, up front, bad weather today, it's going to get to you a little bit later. Right? Constantly honest with you, constantly keeping up that rapport. So, build trust with you, right? You start trusting me more and build a nice relationship. So then, order comes late, or there's been a discrepancy in something. Say something was lost, and it comes down and you hear a lot of rumors going around that I stole your item. Now, me and you are good. I've been delivering it on time, I've been honest with you. You're going to trust me. You're not going to trust those rumors, right?
Of course, I'm gonna, we already have that relationship, I'm gonna be like, nah, it can't be Ben, it has to be some other chain, or part of the chain that's messed up.
Exactly. Being honest from the get-go helps to build that trust, helps to build positive relationships. Alright? Nice positive effect. Now, take the other way around. Alright? Say I'm packing and you're my boss. Alright? And like we've been having to deal with right now. I sent the package in, but in the past, you've noticed that I haven't been too honest with you. I've been sneaky about everything, and on occasion have been known to walk out or walk out with some items or maybe lie about something. They seem not very trustworthy. Now, I claim I sent that package out. Shipping says they didn't get it. You gonna trust me at all?
Knowing what I know of this situation or scenario, no.
Huh. So I haven't built that rapport with you. Alright. Another thing, when it comes to being ethical minded, it's not just about honesty, it's taking responsibility for any problems that may arise. Good example of this is what happened with Ethan. It wasn't a big thing. Exact same situation I was talking about. Product was sent out and shipping claims they didn't get it. Now, Ethan had trust in us. He knows, no, that's not my people. They wouldn't steal. They wouldn't do that. 100 plus items go missing. That's not my people's fault. I know, I trust my employees. And he lashed out, quick to action. He wanted to defend us. That's great in a leader. You want to defend your employees, but he was quick to emotion, and it kind of came back on because we didn't know what was going on. He didn't explain to us or anything. So later on that day, came in, sat down, looked at us and said, "Hey, I want to apologize. I'm taking responsibility for the way I acted and the way I behaved. I didn't feel it was right. Some of you may have taken it the wrong way, and that was wrong. I want you all to understand that it was not directed at you. It was directed at other people." Basically, Ethan sat us down, took responsibility for the way that he had behaved, and explained to us. See, just taking responsibility isn't enough. You need to take it one step further and act on it further and improve upon it. Just saying, "Hey, I messed up." That's good, but a leader will actually figure out what you did wrong and improve upon it so he does not do it again. Right? And Tristan, what do you think of a civic-minded leader? I know it's up there, but
It's noticing how your team members react emotionally to you as a leader.
it's being aware of others as surroundings, right? Yeah, recognizing emotions that your team members are experiencing. That's perfect. At my other job, was promoted to somewhat of a manager of a dining room, and I'd get caught up, or tunnel vision, as I was told, in this needs to be delivered. I don't care if you're not feeling it today, this needs to be taken. And it took me about 2 years to actually start to recognize, hey, you're having a rough day. Maybe this just isn't, it's not your day. Now say I recognize that, what should I do with information? Say, Michaelin's here, you put her in packing, she's not having a good day at all. What do you think you should do?
Find out what the issue is, communicate with her.
Say it's really busy. That's good. If you have the time, maybe after shift or during break, just take her, pull her aside and talk to her, figure out what's going on. Let's say it's really busy. You don't really have the time to do it right now. What do you do?
You could recommend talk afterwards or just check up on it.
Okay. That's good. For me, when I was in the restaurant, we'd be very busy, running back and forth, constantly have something to do. And say Michaela was working for me. If I recognize that she's having a bad day, I'm gonna try to put her in a less stressful situation, something where she's still getting work done. She's here for a reason, but one that won't add more onto that stress. If I have the chance, if I have downtime, yeah, we'll take her outside and then we'll talk to her and figure out what I have. But until then, try to alleviate that stress a little bit more in some way.
So redirect them somewhere else.
Go. So if you notice that, hey, she's really struggling with packing, maybe she might be able to go to picking for a little bit. Or maybe she can step aside and start sweeping for a little bit, clear her mind, just help stress her out. Or worst case scenario, if she really needs to go home. And that was my problem. That's where I struggled with, was I had the mindset of, you're here, you're scheduled to work, I don't care if you're having a bad day, come on with a smile, get over it. I need you, and I need you to work through this. Didn't always help. Many times I had a lot of servers that would lash out, or they'd either lash out and quit, or they'd cause a problem. They were too stressed, they were overthinking, they were thinking about something, they didn't have their mind on the job, and it led to something happen, a trade falling. For me, I was working at melting pots where we had boiling water and oil, and I spilled it on the table. Got over the entire table, onto the feet and everything. Never been tipped so low. If a manager had actually taken the time to check in on me, see what was going on, I'd have made it a little bit easier of a day. I struggled with that. Additionally, with civic minded, it's not only recognizing if someone is struggling, but also recognizing if they're doing great. Today, for instance, we got done with our picking and packing. Ethan and Crystal pulled us all aside and said, hey, here's the UPH. Cody, you're number one in picking today, right? Felt good to be recognized for that.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't even know.
No.
No. It's that simple thing of a leader like taking the time to tell you, hey, you did great today. Your UPH, sorry, mine isn't thinking of the words. Your UPH is doing is off the charts. You're leading today. Feels good to get that, right? It's a simple thing to be recognized for success. Be told you're doing a great job. You can flip the way you're feeling. You're having a crummy day, but you're working through it. You're doing the best you can. Get that recognition. Be told, hey, you're doing great. It's going to encourage you and change the way you act and feel. The next part of characteristic is a great leader will try to focus on developing his team. And there's a lot thrown up there. Develop employees that can be successful without your benefit. Self-explanatory, right, McCann? Motor has been talking about it yesterday, right? Ken, how would you go about developing your employee so that they don't need your direct input? Alright. Can you think back to what Motor was doing yesterday, where he pointed out to us that he did?
What he did,
Mm-hmm.
put his effort into it, and then not receiving any back.
It's not quite what I'm getting at. So, Quote was developing your employees so that they can be successful without your direct input. What Motor was doing, that helps set this up, is he set a baseline for what he expects. When we get here, what are we supposed to do? Clock in, grab our scanner, go over to packing. He set all that up for us. This is what I need from him. He doesn't need to be there to guide us every single day anymore. We know as soon as we get here, hey, 5:15, we're supposed to be packing. We're supposed to get started on a warm-up as well as our cheer, and then go on from there. Now there are certain things that are needed for a manager to be there. Like he had mentioned to us, without them being there, we wouldn't have the announcements each day. Right? But you want to be able to set up your team for success. You don't want to have to guide them each and every day. That's the point of developing your employees. Now up there I've listed two names, Naomi and Chap. Naomi and Chap were two people I looked to. Think of like Ethan and Crystal here from Mulder. When I wasn't there, I knew I could rely on them. It got to the point where I get to work and I call Naomi and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be a little bit late. I need you to take care of getting everything set up. I arrived and she'd have it all set up for me. Now she, off the bat, didn't know anything about the restaurant. All she'd ever done is work as a host. Not to say anything about hosts. They do a lot of stuff. But she didn't know how to wait tables. She didn't know how to set up our section sheets or anything of that sort. I had to teach her that, show her every little bit of detail. My manager didn't teach me anything. He showed me, hey, here's what you gotta do, get it done. I took the step forward and started to show her how everything worked out. Same goes for Chap. But I developed Naomi in a way where she could handle it, and then she did the exact same thing for Chap. You know what that means? The plus side of what I was doing.
Basically having a line of people giving responsibility, the same responsibility, so the entire team knows how it operates.
I trained Naomi well enough where she was able to train someone else to do it as well. As a man, as a leader, you want to develop your employees so that they can go on without you if you're not there. But you also want to be able to train them so that they can train others. Delegating responsibility. So, sticking to the direct input. After I trained Naomi, each and every single day I'd split up the section sheet, you do this, you do that, and whatnot. And when I first got there, I would do everything. I would get there, I'd set up the section sheet. I would refill all the drinks, make sure each section was cleaned up, make sure the tables were reset. And that took a lot out of me. That took about 3 hours, so I'd have to show up early. I hated doing it. After a while, I was able to train more people, and I was able to delegate all of them what they should be doing. Cody, why is that a good thing that I'm able to delegate to them?
They're able to, people are able to share the load, that you're trying to accomplish. Because it's a lot for one person to do.
Yeah. By me training them, them being able to do it without me being there. Takes, like you said, load off of me, but also allows them to be able to train others, so I don't need to train every single person. So that was the other thing, I was always called upon, like, hey, we need you to train this person, this person, this person. At one point, I had to train 3 people while I was waiting at tables the entire shift. I suck at training people. My way of training people is, here's the job, here's how to do it, get it done. It's a horrible thing. You know why?
Trial by fire doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah, and it got so bad it made a person cry one time.
For shame.
Only once?
No, I had a really good crew over there. I had a really strong crew, actually. And they, I'll go more into the story on that one. But yeah, she cried, and I think she quit 2 weeks after crying. She did not last long. And from what I heard, she was not meant for this job in the first place. So because I was able to delegate to them and train them all up and show them how to do everything, I was able to take the workload off of me. And then I was able to assign different people. Hey, Cody, you're gonna be training Michaela today. Tristan, I want you to train Ben today, okay? That way Mulder doesn't need to train every single one of us. Our first day here, he trained all of us. Took us all back over to the safety area, taught us all how to lift boxes, right?
I technically started before you did, but yes.
My first day. And then after that, he's delegated to us and had us each train people as well.
Yes.
All right, now it's good for him. It's also good for you. Simple thing behind it is you will learn as you teach others as well. Trial by fire doesn't allow you to learn.
Nope, those are right in, they expect.
Or it doesn't allow the trainer to learn either. About the only thing they're going to learn is that their training method sucks. So, developing your employees means less work for you. Delegating the responsibility allows them to learn as well. And allows them to take on more responsibility and become more confident in themselves. All right. And the last quote, as a coach, show empathy as well as strength. Effective leaders know how to be assertive and kind at the same time. Michaela, can you tell me what I'm getting at with this one?
Making sure that the job is being done with, I don't know how to say it, wait,
I hear where you're going with this one. So say you mess up. Actually, no, I got something better. Tristan. So there was one time you were packing, and order came through, and you packed it all away, and yet you still had an item left on the screen and nothing in your tote. And I remember you looking at me and it's like, hey, why is this here? And I looked to you and I handled it improperly. I came at you with a lot of aggression. I'm like, what'd you do? You did something wrong. Was I showing empathy at all? I don't know. Do you remember the situation? So, think of the scenario then. We scrap that. Let's think of the scenario. All right. You're at packing. All right. Packed everything up. Sent it all through. Looked in the tote. There's nothing there. But on the screen, it shows that you're missing an item. You call for your leader's help, and the leader looks at the screen, looks in the tote, looks at you, and says, "You messed up. What'd you do wrong?" Leader didn't show any empathy, did he? You don't know?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all. No. How should the leader behave?
The leader should assume that something's wrong with the system, or figure out what their process was for packing, instead of instantly going for, oh, you did something wrong. Oh, there's something this employee did.
Okay.
Instead of noticing that there's a problem.
You really didn't try to.
Yes, I do.
Am I moving around too much? Should I say station?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Keep doing what you do.
You're getting there. All right. The leader, first off, should not really assume much. Try to get as much information off the bat. In my situation, when I was handling you, I immediately assumed Tristan's messing up. This is a new guy. He doesn't know what he's doing. That's my problem. I was so quick to assume. You're just wrong. Not like that. You're not going to mess up. You're going to take everything slow and make sure you do it right. And even if you do mess up, you want to know what you did wrong, right? And if a leader comes at you, you messed up, man, what'd you do wrong? Now you're caught off guard, you're confused, you're trying to process, did I do something wrong? No, the leader's got to get as much information. Figure out everything you did, then figure out what happened in the system, and then use all that knowledge that is gained to make a decision.
So not to assume, but to investigate all the information.
Perfect. Good. Now, with an effective leader knows how to be assertive and kind at the same time. Taking that same scenario, say you did mess up. Say you actually packed 2 GameCube controllers. I don't know why I picked GameCube. That just kind of came to mind. Yeah, it's a little old. You packed 2 GameCube controllers. and you're only supposed to pack one. Leader comes at you and says you did something wrong. I don't appreciate that, and I expect better from you. Being a little assertive, but not so much kind. Key point is being the kind part. Is showing some empathy without being weak. Still manage to be assertive, like, hey, I expect better. But if you're struggling, you come to me and I can help you with that. All right. Did mess up on this? That's all right. We got it worked out. We got it fixed. Again, if you need some help, just come to me and we can work a little bit more on this. We can figure out what went wrong and how we can improve upon this. In that example, it's giving you some options. It's not just saying you messed up, you need to do better. It's actually giving you some options of how you can improve and showing that I want you to improve. I want you to become better. Got it?
All about opportunity.
Perfect. A leader wants to develop others, not just shoot them down. These last couple of things, we'll run through a little bit. All right. Last characteristics. Encourage strategic thinking, innovation, and action, going back to developing others. They practice effective cross-culture communication, and they are self-aware, prioritizing personal development. Three major ones. For the self-aware and prioritize personal development, me and you kind of went over this yesterday, right? Remember our debate? A manager, or a leader, I should say, could be lacking experience in a certain field. Means he can improve upon himself. To be coachable. As a leader, you want to be self-aware and prioritize personal development. If you are aware that, hey, I don't really know much about a warehouse business, but I'm very good at leading people. You're going to try to prioritize your personal development and learn as much as you possibly can about the warehouse. Figure out all the intricate things about it, the ins and outs, and see how you can improve upon it and become a better leader. Not only do you want to develop your employees, you want to develop yourself as well. Practice effective cross-culture communication. Ethan, can you tell me what that means?
Cross-culture communication?
Yeah.
In my own words, I'll probably say that falls in between the lines of, from a business standpoint, you know, in different businesses, you have different cultures. Amazon has different cultures than Walmart, right, in Target. So I would say being able to come from those different backgrounds, be able to mix all the good, try to separate the bad from each culture, but take in the good from each one, and have your own, unique culture.
Good. Trying to develop it and come to an understanding of each other. Cody, you worked at Walmart before, right?
Yes, 2 years, very good.
Jay, can you remind me where Jay used to work at?
Office Depot.
Office Depot.
I keep wanting to say Home Depot, but it's Office Depot.
Michaela, can you remind me where Malcolm worked at? Office Depot, Home Depot, Bed Bath & Beyond.
Home Depot.
Home Depot, yeah. We have all these different cultures coming together here, and we still accept them. Don't you think it'd be kind of weird? Someone from Home Depot coming to work at Walmart, like that was a competitor, right? Right? Home Depot and Bed Bath & Beyond, those warehouses can be competitors of ours.
Of ours?
Of ours, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, everybody can be through a Walmart because we do everything, so.
Exactly.
There you go.
But we practice the effective cross-cultural communication. And we accepted them. Took them in and we learned from them. Developed it. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm a little off topic.
You said you're off topic?
The cross culture, right?
So there's,
I want to take it a different way.
okay, go ahead.
If we simplify it, we're here picking and packing, right? We got the loaders, we got those pickers as well. We have our own culture here, slightly different. Now let's say Mulder only sticks to himself, only worries about us. Okay, let's make sure we're the best pickers. We got 1,000 units we can drop right now. Let's drop them, right? Let's send them out. Sounds good, right? More job for us, we're not sweeping all day.
Oh, yeah.
More opportunity.
S4 might be bad, or S1 depending on that.
It's key. Communicate with your other cultures. Now, additionally, if I'm correct, if you drop all those, jobs for us to be doing, does that affect the other loaders and pickers?
Yep.
They now have to go driving around and go do those things as well.
Are you talking about for outbound ship?
Yeah.
It's possible that any orders connected to the orders that we have would create single unit trips for them. It's possible. Hasn't happened a whole lot, but it is possible. Mostly it's simply if we drop everything that we have in our backlog, then it leaves, the next shift's pretty much nothing to do. And yeah, they're a little testy about that.
Alright, so we did do that. Not fully, we didn't drop every single thing, but we dropped a good bit. Michaela, what's some backlash that Mulder could face by doing this? If he does this consistently every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, any orders that come in, he drops immediately. He wants to get as much work for us to do. He wants to show off that S5 is the best.
Because we are.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
But what's some backlash that Mulder can face by doing this?
I mean, I'm sure he's gonna get in trouble. I mean, so the work is being split. Right? So I mean, if we do everything,
There's multiple reasons for it. One, we would be taking work from other shifts, right? And we have the least amount of personnel out of any shift. So we'd be putting more people out of work on other shifts. Two, when we create work or drop work that's far in the future, it presents additional problems for shipping because those trailers are not ready for that freight to come in. So they end up, having to stack it off to the side or create dummy trailers. When you create dummy trailers and put stuff off to the side, there's an increased potential for those orders to be lost. Just kind of walk up and move on, right? So it creates additional headaches and additional work for other personnel that wouldn't otherwise be done.
Did you catch all that? So essentially, if he decides to drop all these, it means less work for S4 or S1, depending on what day we have. It also means that shipping or the pickers, the loaders, are gonna have a lot more to be doing, and those orders that we drop for ourselves, when we send them out, now it's gonna go through a problem of, hey, this doesn't have a drop time, or a cut time, because you dropped it so far in
oh,
advance.
that's why.
It's one of the reasons, yeah.
Exactly. So what's one thing you can do to work on that? To prevent from him dropping too far ahead.
Talk to the other teams about splitting up the work.
Perfect. Communicate with the other managers and figure out, all right, how far ahead can I drop? Or talk to S4, like, hey, is it all right if I drop this many orders? My guys have been a little low on work. I want to give them some more things to do. They're really annoyed with sweeping constantly. Can I drop this? It's communicating with these other cultures or other departments.
So
per se.
they have the choice to drop as well.
Who does?
S4 is where
Yes,
you're
they do.
I love each his face. He's like, yeah, they do.
Is that why we don't have any work?
Because S2 drops as much as they do. Because CJ's been the primarily one who's been doing it this whole time. So it's affected other shifts all throughout.
So say S2 communicates with the other shifts now and starts talking to them and starts figuring out that what he's doing is actually causing some problems for us. We can prevent that, right? A good leader not only tries to develop his employees, but also tries to work with other parts of the organization to make sure that everyone is thriving and not just his group. All right. Now the last part, they encourage strategic thinking, innovation, and action. When it comes to strategic thinking, I've never been good at this. I was always a one-track mind, very simplistic. Sometimes can pay off, sometimes it doesn't. Take our box on Friday. It was stuck. I saw that it was stuck. I saw that all the everything in packing wasn't going through, that there was a jam. I just looked over to Malcolm like, hey, there's a jam, and I started to just walk up and down, closed-minded, by the packing station. Didn't go any further. I didn't think ahead and try to figure out where else it might have been. Malcolm started actually thinking, started realizing, hey, I'll just follow the line all the way up and figure out where exactly it stopped. Realized where it stopped, tried getting it unstuck by just his hand. Couldn't figure out how to fix it with that, so got innovative. Took the pole and tried poking it loose. That didn't work. So then called upon maintenance, like, hey, you need to get a machine out here to get it loose, get it off. So, the strategic thinking of figuring out where it is by following down the line, the innovation by figuring out multiple ways of getting it done, and then just a simple action of calling maintenance.
But it's crazy because that wasn't the gym.
Where else was the gym? Where else was the gym?
The jam was in the consolidation.
Alright, maintenance just took a look at that, said, yeah, it's fixed, I took the box off, right? Just left it, walked away, didn't go to check. Malcolm took it a step further, saw that the jam was still there, became more innovative, and where'd he go? Where did he go?
He went to check the computers.
Over by picking, right?
No, he went to the top where the photo, what is it called?
Where the main line on shipping is, where the lines are.
It's something you can do right there.
Yeah. Any one of us could have gone up there. We all have the capability, right? It's taking the action to actually get up and go do it. Maintenance could have just as easily done it. He could have followed through, gone more in depth, and thought more on it. But didn't. See, that's what sets the leader apart, is actually going that step further to make sure that it is working. If I just come to you and say, hey, we have a problem with picking. This UPC is not the right number. Okay, try a different one, move on. It's not gonna work, right?
I mean, it's a quick fix, but it's like a Band-Aid, that's still an issue.
The leader would take this a step further, figure out why that UPS isn't right, figure out what's wrong, and could lead to a bunch of other ones that aren't working. Could lead to bigger problems, right?
Yeah, why aren't EGLS isn't reading the UPCs? Why are they invalid?
Exactly what we're
Why are they invalid, Mulder?
That's a great stinking question. I'm hoping to figure that out this week.
Why are they printing stuff with double zeros or a random one at the end?
The magic voodoo doll isn't working like it's supposed to.
Well, get your magic 8-ball out and ask your question why.
And with all those questions of why, you came up with different ideas or different reasons based on your information you gathered, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the action of taking to figure out and investigate, and then the strategic thinking of different ways as to what is going wrong and how we can fix it, or what we can do for a quick fix to hold us over until we can fully figure out why. What was our quick fix?
For instance, I got a great one actually, the PlayStation controllers. Sometimes they have the printed UPC on them that works fine when you scan, like for EGLS, and then sometimes they don't, and then you have to manually type it in. Did you know that? Don't you hate that? Why?
We also got some shoes that
So-
had that same error.
Move.
What's the solution for it as a quick fix for now?
As having a baseline set of this is the expectation, have the label or not. Making sure it's in the system.
That's a future fix, but what's the holdover now?
To type
Well, what
in.
the system does is it takes you to the ones that have the UPC printed onto them. It skips the others. I've noticed that, have y'all?
The colored ones are the ones with our UPC on there. The black ones are the ones that with the original UPC.
Really?
Mhm. You'll see. Go through them.
So,
Either I've not noticed or it's just some little bit of BS right there.
what I've been trying to get at is, for our quick fix we've had is, we manually type it in, we're struggling on that. Manually type it in, if I typed in the Holter code that's on there, it won't work. We figured out it's the double zeros that you take off or the last number. Just figuring out and thinking of innovative ways to make it work. So in conclusion, for a leadership, you want a leader that, if you want to become a better leader, you want to work on becoming more ethical and civic minded, that we can look out for your employees as well as the business itself. You want to make sure that you encourage strategic thinking, innovation, and action, so that when you come across problems, you figure out proper ways to go around them or innovative ways. You want to practice effective cross-cultural communication so that you don't step on too many toes. It's okay every now and then. And you want to be self-aware and prioritize personal development in yourself. So you're always improving on yourself. The biggest thing is developing your employees. That way they don't need to rely on you. That way they can become better while you do become better.
All right.
That's everything.
Good job.
Do you have any questions?
One that's on my mind, but it's not to you. Why is there a UPC that even after I scan and manually enter it and do the drop of the 2 and then the 1 at the end, or all the combination of trying to put it in the system, and it's still not scanned?
Is it that toy, that box that's about yay high, about yay long?
No, it was like a cologne or something. I wrote it down. I was gonna say, did Ethan give you the list?